And now let me ask you a question. How far would you go for your money? Your monthly salary, a loan that you gave someone, or your hard-earned savings in the bank? To what extremes would you go to secure this money? Why am I asking these questions? Because a Lebanese man may have set a dangerous precedent. His name is Bassam al-Sheikh Hussein, 42 years old, a food delivery driver, struggling to make ends meet. He had to pay his father's medical bills. He sold his house, then his parents' house, and deposited all the money in a bank, the Federal Bank of Lebanon. It's one of the biggest private banks in the country. But Lebanon is in fact suffering from an economic crisis. So this bank, the Federal Bank of Lebanon, has restricted withdrawals, meaning if you have money in this bank, you can only withdraw small amounts. On Thursday, Hussein went to the bank, a Beirut branch. He wanted to withdraw over $1,000. The bank refused. The man insisted. The bank did not budge. You know what happened next? He went back, got a shotgun, held the bank hostage, threatened to kill customers, set himself on fire inside the bank. That's what he threatened. Images show him dressed in a T-shirt and shorts, walking in the premises as the staff tries to reason with him. Watch this.
بدك تروح تجيب المصاري ما في حدا غير من هيدا الفرقه ليجيب المصاري.
The hostage crisis went on for hours. As the news spread, hundreds of people gathered outside. There were also policemen, soldiers, intel officials, first aid providers. And what happened next was even more surprising. The people gathered outside began cheering for the hostage taker. They began praising him for doing what they could not. Listen to this.
He is forced to do that. He is not being a hero. Over the past 3 years, he has been trying to feed his children, and eventually he wanted to pay for the treatment of his father, who is in the hospital. What should he have done? Go steal when he has all his life savings of $210,000 in a bank that has locked away his money? He will do this, and he will do more than this.
Also present in the crowd was the man's family. They hailed him as a hero. They called his intentions noble.
10 days ago, I paid over $5,000 at the hospital for my father's treatment. The bills are all there, all stamped and confirmed. My brother is not a scoundrel. He couldn't be. He doesn't even smoke marijuana. Go ask around about him. He's the kindest person in the neighborhood. He takes what he has from his own pocket and gives it to others.
By evening, Hussein's efforts worked. The bank agreed to give him $30,000. In return, he allowed the hostages to be fed by a local restaurant. And shortly afterwards, he surrendered to the police. None of the hostages was harmed. No money was stolen. As Hussein stepped out, he lifted his hand in salute, as if to acknowledge the support he received. Needless to say, he'll end up in court now.
What happened is that one of the depositors came to the bank and held hostage all the employees and some bank clients. What I can say is that all the files are at the hands of judiciary.
As bizarre and dramatic as the story is, it's not a first. This is the second such case in Lebanon this year. In the month of January, another angry depositor tried something similar. He doused customers with fuel, demanding his life savings. And he got what he wanted. He too was hailed as a hero. And this shows how broken things are in the Lebanese economy. The downfall began in 2019. Lebanon defaulted on foreign debt. The Lebanese pound crashed. Bank withdrawals were restricted. People were pushed into poverty. Then came the pandemic. It aggravated the crisis. Annual inflation soared to record highs. Foreign reserves fell to record lows. The government started running out of money to import essentials. Tourism was the mainstay of the Lebanese economy. It accounted for 7% of the GDP. Wuhan virus lockdown destroyed tourism. The 2020 Beirut blasts made things even worse. You may remember these images. On the 4th of August 2020, a large amount of ammonium nitrate exploded at the port of Beirut. More than 200 people died. An estimated 300,000 became homeless. The damages were worth $15 billion. The blast destroyed Beirut's food silos. Today, Lebanon's economy looks beyond repair. The currency has collapsed. $1 is now equal to 1,500 Lebanese pounds. Government debt stands at 165% of the country's GDP. Only $11 billion are left in foreign reserves, and with banks paralyzed, people have been locked out of their accounts. All of this has pushed people like Hussein to desperation. They're on the brink. He'll have to face the court for stealing his own money. And he has the sympathies of his fellow citizens. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.